Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked, a casual listening podcast anchored in our love of folk music, but with enough slack on the line to lead us out into the wild, wild oceans to discover beautiful and rare species of underwater life. My name is Andrew.
And my name is, this week, Edward the Factor 50 Brophy. You're going to need all that Factor 50 out in the ocean. There's no, because you get the sun reflection from the water as well. Did you know that? And then you just get sunburn.
I do. It's been a victim to those crimes.
Tell me, Andy. Tell me more about this new direction we're taking the podcast, because this is news to me that we are now oceanographers, marine biologists.
I've been inspired, Ed. I've been inspired.
You ate some fish. You ate some fish fingers. You're like, I gotta get to the source of these boys. Gotta go to source.
No, it truly was in the moment, I think. But I guess if we wanted to be inspired by someone, it would be a gentleman that I heard about recently this week. I don't know his full name, but his first name I believe was Suzuki. And he was a Japanese, let's call it just a wandering man. And he was the person that discovered, now I had not planned on talking about this, so I don't know his name. It begins with an N, but it's the guy that basically stayed in the forests of Japan for almost half his life because he didn't want to believe that the war was over, and they only caught him in or found him. Well, this guy Suzuki, who had no experience of going into jungles, had no right going in, just went into the this forest on I think it was on a Philippine island he was on, and he just went around for 4 days shouting his name, Anqua or something like that. And found him after 4 days, even though armies and villages had been searching for him for many years, but he evaded them all and managed to kill a fair few people. Became a celebrity, kind of, and then got very depressed because when he got out and he saw how consumerist Japan had become, he was actually happier in the jungle, thinking it was a war going on, than he was actually when he got out of it and discovered what the world really was.
Yeah. I don't think his name was Suzuki.
The guy that found him.
Oh, the guy that found him was Suzuki. Ah, okay, right. I should have known his name, because I think the soldiers. I only know the soldier's name. I think his name is Hirohito something. I want to say Yamamoto, but that might be wrong.
I'm not sure.
But yeah. So we're taking on. What we're gonna? Is Suzuki coming with us on the boat?
Hiro Onodo.
Onodo, not Yamamoto.
Onodo. He was eventually located and returned to Japan in 1974. Sorry, no, there's my in real time research. Sorry, man. What was your question? Yeah, the direction we're headed then is more ocean based.
Okay.
Given our kind of, I don't know, the way our life has kind of brought us to this point. It feels like the next logical step, you being a man of the ocean and wary of its reflective powers.
I am. That's a good mashup of two words. I am a wary. That's a really good combo. I am both aware and wary of the fact that the sun can be reflected off the water. Offer a double burn. Yeah, wary. I'm wary of a lot of things.
You need to be these days. Can't be too wary.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was walking out my front lawn of the house, front of the house, and I found somebody had thrown a used condom into the front yard,
No way.
Yeah, we were only moved in here. We were only here like a month, and somebody had, presumably from a passing car. It seems like a strange thing to do if you're walking, to have a condom while walking, like
Even
a
to
used
have
condom.
it in a passing car, just like
Well,
wherever.
The scenario, you're out doing your dogging, you know,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
you're doing it responsibly, i.e., you're wearing protection.
Yes.
And
Okay, they're all the.
you've filled your boots. You've launched 1,000 ships, as some lad said to me there today. And so, but you still have the paraphernalia, and they tied it off. They tied a knot on the top of it, and then presumably driving by, whoop, out the window.
I just don't get the dogging situation, and I'm not experienced, so I'm coming off just I guess just assumptions, I guess.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you just leave it where you were? Why, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna toss it out the window, I feel like you were targeted.
Someone's sending me a message.
Still got it? You got DNA testing going on there?
I froze it. It's in the freezer. I'm just waiting for. I'm going to do a 23andMe. Send it off.
Did you do a warm test before you put it in? Like, was it fresh?
No, I did a taste test.
Okay.
Then I froze it. Then I vomited, actually, but that mightn't have been related. I'm not sure. And then
defrosted it.
I froze
Tasted it again.
I froze the vomit. Vomit's in there as well now. So it's all this in the freezer with the waffles. And I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to send it off there to the authorities.
It's all in the freezer with the tartare sauce that we tend to freeze as well. Don't know why we put it beside the tartare sauce. Tartare,
which I also keep in condoms tied off. I put all the tartare sauce in
the way our mothers did it, and the way their mothers did it. I tell you what. Now some things.
How did they get the condoms down from the Northern Ireland just to put tartare sauce in them?
I wouldn't. We weren't eating that much fish either. We were inland. We were the largest England county. Largest England county.
Full circle back to the ocean.
You go. There you go, everyone. That's why me and Ed are trying to branch out a little bit. There you go. Sorry, we're talking over. We're too excited about the new venture. That's the problem right now. We need to.
I've got that raw excitement of somebody who's just found out about it, because that's what's happened. I've just found out about it.
Me too, man.
Just at the same time as we've all found out about it at exactly the same time. Just that, because that's how this whole partnership works, Andy. You say something, and then that's the direction we go. That's it.
Oh God! So
it's worked so far. It's worked so far. It kind of is, though. I mean, you said, should we do a podcast? I was like, okay. And now here we are, a year and
5 years later.
5
years later, man.
It's felt like 5 years.
Probably more than 5. Yeah, so 73 now.
Yeah, but I was wary of condoms tied off and thrown into my garden for a while. But it was only one. It was one-off.
Okay.
Person didn't come. If it was a message, the person did not come back to decode it for me. They just full stopped or ... or to be continued. I don't know. So
as you know, we live in an apartment here, a ground floor apartment here in Berlin, and someone took a shit in our back garden once.
Your back garden?
Yeah.
Because you've had poos in the front of your apartment as well.
Oh yeah, but that's the street. That's the street.
That's the street, Ed.
I don't think anyone questions when there's shit outside the front on the main.
Doesn't even raise an eyebrow. That's where you find poo, Ed.
It was quite a long time ago now, I have to say, and there hasn't been any since. I don't know. It's the fact that I froze it also that is deterring the people from coming back. And again, I don't know why we eat so much mince, but there's bags and condoms. Really, again, seemed like a stupid way to. But again, it's how Mary did it. It's how Mary would like to store her food. It's why we had 4 children. She had 4, not we. I'm not my own father. Or am I?
Rephrase some of those sentences.
We'll get that in post. That's all right.
This is that's just the way people were in Ireland in the 80s. They didn't really know what condoms were for. They just said, "But this would be great to preserve some food."
Have it not touching, spoiling the flavor of other
This, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the
that's
other.
the problem. See, what happened was Gay Byrne in the Late Late Show, he had that thing where he was showing people how to put condoms, and he was putting the condom on a cucumber, and everyone
Did
thought,
Gay Byrne do that?
everyone,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah. And so everyone thought, also it's for food. That's where the confusion started, I think. And they didn't get that it was that the cucumber was an analogy for the erect male sex organ.
Yeah. Population just
Different.
kept on booming. People just didn't pick up on the
chuck it along. This train's getting faster.
Right, we're 10 in, Ed. Now, give me 10 minutes of your life. How is your life?
Well, the last 10 minutes have been awesome. I really enjoyed them. They're really good.
Did I tell you about the time I put condom in my freezer?
For any friends who are listening
been
to this
good?
and coming over to the house, sorry, I'll just ignore the question for a second. For any friends who, I just have to put a disclaimer, for any friends who come over to the house or might be listening to this, I don't actually have a used condom from a stranger in my house, in my fridge. It might be in my house.
Anymore.
Exactly. How has my week been? My week has been lovely because it's been so sunny here.
What are they calling it? What are they putting it down to? They always there's always a thing that says the reason is because of the high pressure that's come from. There's been a hurricane down in Southeast Asia, and that's why there's a spin-off, and there's also turtles just riding the wave of
not just any turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Here to save the day. Yeah.
So you're right. You're correct. Ireland, presumably everywhere, we always have to have a big reason. I've seen a headline that I can't remember what it is. It's something like, I can't remember. It's probably like the ionosphere is something and whatever. So there is a reason, but I can't remember what it is. And we are about 4 weeks into it now, I would say. Thereabouts.
Holy shit. 4 weeks of just sunshine.
Thereabouts. I feel like it feels like about 4 weeks. There's a bit of rain.
Kind of makes me sad when I hear that. Not I'm happy for everyone, but you know, it's that bitter happiness when you're kind of hoping that your holiday will have sunshine as well, but you feel like all the sunny days have been taken up by Ireland, or now in Ireland, you know. And now when I get over in August, it's going to piss rain.
Yeah. It is going to piss rain. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy for you all over there. I shouldn't be so bitter, but I think if I'm honest about my bitterness, maybe people will hate me less.
I think, first of all, I don't think anyone hates you, but second of all, you're right though. Ireland only has there is that sense that if you're getting sunny weather, that is only a finite amount. I think we have a weird kind of psychological thing going on. It's like, we think, okay, this is a finite thing, the sunny days, so it's like, we're using them all up now. You know, that's not that that's how things work at all, but that's how we feel. And then there's also another thing where it's like, we're kind of starting to get into worried mode about how much sunshine we're getting now. I've seen a headline where it's like drought levels, reservoirs in 14 or water supplies in 14 counties are at drought levels. I saw a headline this morning. So,
it's no fun anymore for anyone.
We're starting to get stressed about it now. Basically, the national, not most normal people, but I think there's starting to be a few more stressed out headlines about, and you know, the sunshine.
Has your circle started firing up the barbecues? Your sphere?
No, I haven't, and I do like barbecues, but they are a bit of effort, I have to say. But I do like barbecues, and we have a nice barbecue. But that's a really good idea. Maybe we'll have one this week if the weather holds. If we could just get a bit of fucking fine weather around here.
Nice.
I should have. You're right. But what else then? I didn't. I was talking to a South African there this week about barbecues. Jesus, they're passionate about barbecues.
The braai.
They don't take any shit.
The braai. We call it the braai in South Africa.
Yeah. And they don't take any shit when it comes to barbecues.
No,
don't
but they
turn
are
up with a pack of Denny sausages.
Oh God, no! They have that boerwurst, the circular sausage, just like this circular meat.
It's not pork either. It's beef, is it?
I think you can get
something where it's beef sausage.
Yeah. Is a boar? No, that's a pig, isn't it? A boar is a pig. So I don't know if
I think a boar is like
boar.
a pig, yeah. But there is, who was I talking about sausage? Maybe it's a Belgian thing. Sorry, I'm getting maybe confused. Anyway, this is not that interesting. But my point is just a little tip for life: don't show up to a barbecue with a packet of any sausages with the
With a
South
bunch of South
African. I think South
Africans.
Africans going to be there.
It's a standout memory of the time when I moved to London. I lived in London for 3 years, and the first apartment that we had there, well, no, it was a house, shared house, and I was living with two South Africans, a person from Zimbabwe, a Canadian, and a German. So
nice eclectic mix there.
good cross section, yeah. And but the South African people, very nice, sold us their mountain bikes, which have since been stolen here in Berlin. But lovely mountain bikes, giant mountain bikes. The brand, not giant mountain bikes, but
Penny farthings.
giant, yeah. And yeah, they invited us to quite a few barbecues in their sphere of friends, and yeah, it's there's two things South Africans say a lot: is bro and braai.
Yeah.
You're going to the braai, bro. You're going to the braai, bro. Blah, 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 blah. And we had quite a fun time with all the braai and bro, braai, bro, braai, bro, braai, bro, braai, bro. Anyways, that's my little South African. But I did learn a lot about barbecuing from them, I have to say. The whole lemon thing at the start, that was South African people that were showing me that.
That's a nice tip.
The pouring of cider on when the flames, they're big into, because they drink that Savannah cider that you put a lime into. Really tasty cider. If you ever get a chance to buy Savannah cider, just stick a lime in it. Absolutely delicious. And they also, there was because there was quite a lot of South Africans living in southeast London. There was a shop then that sold biltong, the dried cured meat. It was fucking delicious. It's like you can get dried, like just dried beef, I guess, you know. So just dried up cured beef, lovely.
I'm feeling so hungry right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry, man.
No, just I'm just getting really. I had a cup of tea there, but I didn't, you know. My week then, I had a bit of fun actually earlier in the week. I was doing some training for, you know, I work on airplanes, so they're like they sent me away to do some training for like engine runs. So like, you know, you have to get kind of particular training for that, so that you can like run the engines for maintenance or whatever. And that was fun. I was in a simulator. It's quite a realistic simulator as well. And
a simulator for flying planes.
Yeah, the ones that pilots would use. So they put us in there, and it was one of the ones that moves around. Although they didn't move it around for us, because for obvious reasons, I guess.
Everyone's fat.
No, because maybe it's not obvious. No, because it was.
If you can't see this, Ed is gigantic. He is just a
the gym
bloated whale.
The gym is not working.
He's in reverse.
This whole trip to the sea is to set him free, is to return him to the water.
Oh no, a whale is washed up on shore. Oh no, it's just Ed. It's just, I'll push him back. No, it's okay. Everybody gather around. Free Willy kid comes up, puts his arm up. You eat him. Sorry, go on.
This could all be a screenplay. I think I've got a really strong feeling about this one. This could be the one, Andy. This could be the one that gets us walking the red carpet.
Fine. Well, between the documentary on oceans and then the whales, like God, it's very connected this week, isn't it?
It's all a big package.
Christ. You writing this down, listener? You writing all this down?
We're recording it. We're recording it, so it's fine. Don't bother writing it down, listener. This is all recorded, so it's fine. We'll go to Netflix. This is going to be our pitch. This episode is going to be our pitch to Netflix. But anyway, so the simulator doesn't move. I guess they didn't bother moving the simulator because we're not flying. You know, we're not simulating flying. We're simulating an engine run. I guess that's what I meant by obvious. And not that I'm fat. That's just, or that all of us are fat. And but we could. The potential is there, I guess, for all of us to get fat.
Absolutely.
Because we went to a Wetherspoons after that.
Wetherspoons. Was it sticky carpet?
No, we were sitting outside because it was the weather was quite good. And lad, look now, the food was nice, the service was nice, all good, right? But the only thing I will say is, I feel like I come to the podcast every week with a complaint, right? But this does get my goat. Okay, we had to download an app to order the food. Have you seen that before? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, in a couple of places. In maybe not to order the food, but to check the menu.
No, I had
But to order the food is taking a step towards McDonald's, isn't it? It's like we're not going to talk to anyone anymore.
but
But I
yeah,
guess
but I mean,
Witherspoons. You know what? Witherspoons are really just going down a McDonald's route, and I'm not sure that they really want to do that with their high-end ideas of themselves.
I like Witherspoon's food and their prices, and but we were so anyway. The app.
Another cross section of society.
Do you remember we were in a Witherspoons in Streatham in London, and it was a Paddy's Day, and we were there for that. We were going to be playing a gig there in the White Line, and so just off the airplane, first place went for a bit of food. We were just there, just arrived, and we were sitting there eating in there 10 minutes, and next thing, all we heard behind us was roaring going on right from this older Irish gentleman. And well, he wasn't a gentleman, actually, as it turned out. He was shouting at a Scottish guy. They were sitting at a table that was about 6 feet long, and they were both sitting at the ends of the table. So they had like 6 feet between them.
It's like two kings of two lords of.
It looked like the shittiest meeting of minds, like like a conference, or there were only two guys showed up, and so they were sitting opposite each other.
Poo-en.
And
Sorry, go on.
But no, your man didn't hear what the other guy said, but he was evidently Scottish, because the Irish guy, and they're both in their 50s, 60s, I'd say. The Irish guy just started shouting at the Scottish guy, "You Scotch bastard! You fucking Scotch bastard!" And then he lifted up his pint glass, which was still half full of Guinness, and he lifted it up to smash it on the table to brandish as a weapon, and then spilled half the rest of the pint all over himself by accident, all over his head. But that didn't stop him. He still brought it down, smashed it on the table, and was like threatening the Scotch guy. To the Scots guy's credit, this did not faze him one bit. He was just sitting there at his end of the table, like, yeah, all in a day's day for me, this kind of stuff. And then the bouncer or whoever came over and was like, came over to the Irish guy. And it's just like, David, come on now, you can't be doing that. Come on now. I knew him by his first name, whatever it was, I don't know. It's like, come on, David, out now, come on now, you can't be doing that. And this old guy just stood up. All he had said the whole time, kept on repeating, even though while he was going out with your man, it's like, "You Scotch bastard, you fucking Scotch bastard." That's all he kept on saying, even as he was just walking out with your man. And then he went outside the door and still screaming through the window, "You Scotch bastard, you Scotch bastard." And that was Witherspoons. The food was lovely.
Don't get me wrong.
I
am not beyond the Witherspoons, and I don't think I ever will be. I do enjoy it, but it is
the app. No, just the point of my story is, all of that was perfectly fine for me, but an app that nearly pushed me over the edge to have to download an app. That nearly got rid of me. I accept everything else, but when you force me to download an app, that just could have lost me.
Order drinks, order anything. You do it from the table now.
Yep.
What about Dave? What about David? He doesn't sound like a guy who's whipping out his phone and using apps.
Do you know what? I don't think David's going to get stuck for drink. I think he'll find a way.
He'll find a way, I guess. Yeah. They probably have an emergency service there.
Caw. That's David.
Oh, nice.
So
but
that was
a good time. Good time over there.
I did, and then the similar. It was funny because there was one guy among us who already had this training done. He was just getting refresher training, and so the instructor was really testing him. Like, he was kind of testing him to a higher standard, you might say. And none of this is fun. Like, this is very deadly serious. Like what's going on in here and the questions that are being asked. It's serious, but it's enjoyable in a kind of a learning kind of a way, you might say, because
I guess you can't say too
it is
much,
enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not lighthearted or anything, but it's serious but not dour. You know what I mean?
You need to be getting more questions right than you're getting wrong, though, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're acting the bollocks, you'll just be thrown out.
Okay, yeah. But I guess anyone that's going on this, do you have to study before you go to it?
Yes, that's definitely advisable because you're asked a good few questions, and if you can only say I don't know to a certain amount before
Because
people
you're not
think you're an
turning up to
absolute
learn
idiot.
this shit. You're going there to confirm you know this shit.
No, you're going to learn, but you do need a basic level of knowledge about, let's say, certain engine limitations and things like that you should be looking out for. And then
Okay.
this is just training to get you comfortable in the cockpit and learning and using all the controls and monitoring all the instruments. So his job then in the simulator is to kind of simulate a fire or simulate like a fault, some sort of fault. So so when it was me sitting in there, he was giving me like basic faults like a fire or like a high engine vibration or something like that, right? But when it was this guy, he simulated a bird strike, which I was very impressed with. And like we had the screen, like we were sitting on a runway, and it looked really quite real out in front of the cockpit. And nobody looks out the cockpit window when they're on the engine. They're always looking at the instruments. And you just saw these flock of birds, just animated
Amazing.
birds, just flying towards us, and
Do
like
they
nobody copped it.
And do they
It's just
splat
like,
against the they go into the
they
engine?
don't
Do
know. There was no real like cartoon splat against the windscreen. No,
Slowly
there was
just
none of that.
going down. Wipers go on.
Wipers
It's just
go
but like the
That
bird
would
gets
have been-
stuck in the wipers, so it starts getting dragged from side to side, but slowly scraping away its skin, so its insides start to just peel out.
And there's no water sprayer. There's none of that.
So-
None of that crack.
So you got to climb out of the plane and try and get it off while it's in mid-flight. This guy is good. This guy's done the training before. I know.
God damn. That's why we test him. We test the best.
Full-on Die-Hard McLean thing.
And that is how you run an engine. Covered in bird. What used to be bird. It was fun.
No.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
And,
Simulator sounds fun. It does sound a lot of fun.
It is enjoyable. And Wetherspoons.
Does it make you want to fly a plane?
No. No, I wouldn't like to do that. Because there was a pilot there with us actually. And it's impressive. He sat into one of the seats, and it was impressive watching him do all the controls. He's very fast. But when he started, let's say, like simulating, he was throttling forward, and then the screen started animating that on the runway. Your brain gets fooled for a second, because it's seeing a very realistic forward motion, like in a place where you expect to see forward motion or whatever, and for a second you're really kind of confused by everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. My shot
Pushing. Yeah. But that nothing to do with the plane or anything. I just really need to go to the toilet, and he wouldn't let me go. So I said myself, okay, that's fine. Yes, you're hooking on. You be it.
On your similar carpet, be it actually.
Oh, you shit yourself. You didn't shit the thing. It's slowly. All right, I don't want to go down to the description of the poo.
Yeah. This isn't a Berlin street.
We've changed, man. Some of those diehard listeners that came here for the poo jokes are now switching off. They're all going, well, the guys they've given in. They've given in to corporate America
and the sea. Their love of the sea. Somehow.
Yar.
Yeah, all you landlubbers out there.
Big shout out to all our seamen. All of them. Everywhere. We know you know who you are. You probably don't. You're probably dead now. Here you're in.
All right.
Nice.
How has your week been, Andy?
My week's grand now. I am wary now that we're coming up to 30, and we said that we'd always do 30. Our new thing, listener, is 30-30.
Listener? Is there only one listener? Our new thing,
Mom.
listener. That's you. You know who you are.
Listener. Was 30-30. 30 shy talking. 30 focus on some form of folk music. And if we run short on the folk chat, then we'll return back to the casual listening side of things. However, my week was good.
Good. Okay.
It was, I I guess my only thing is that, like, mine's kind of work related as well. But like, I had like the teacher's equivalent of speed dating this week, which is which
Sounds
go on.
sounds adulterous.
No, it's 15 minutes. 15 minutes
Uh,
with every child's parents
okay.
sometimes,
Oh.
and the child, and yeah. So we had parent talks, which is
Mm.
always a long day and a fun day, because it really is, because I know none of it, because I've only recently started this job and finished in the summer, so it's only a short contract. Um, yeah, it was kind of it did really feel like, because everyone was just like, never seen me before, but so it was just a chance to kind of squeeze in 5 minutes of like how what I think of your child after 7 weeks of observing them.
Yeah.
But it was all right. It was okay.
But I mean, I'm sure they've heard of you. I'm sure they've heard
They know me,
Mr.
yeah, yeah. They know
Mr. Andrew.
Mr. Comerford. Yeah, it's the first
Oh,
time in
Mr.
8 years.
Comerford.
I'm back to I'm back to my or Mr. C to some of them, because Comerford's it's a triple syllable. People don't have time
Mm,
for that. Kids are busy these days.
yeah.
So Mr. C to some of them, but
Let's just see.
my name is Mr.
You're gonna
C.
walk your way, work your way all the way up to Mr. T somehow. Somehow, gotta get called Mr. T.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't really. It's probably a hard one to talk about in general, but it
What?
does feel
Being Mr. T?
just being Mr. T or being Mr. C,
Would,
or even just
would
chatting about. I guess the only thing about parent evening is just it does seem weird to meet people for 50 minutes and then like literally just kick them out after 50 minutes. Go like, sorry, we have the next person coming in there. I got to talk to these people. So it's
mm,
quite an intense experience. Forgetting about whatever my job and these being parents, it's just meeting 25 different people, different
mm,
sets of people for 15 minutes in one day, regardless of what you're talking about. You have to kind of establish hellos and do the niceties. You have the same kind of, the kid is there as well. And you ask them that you're supposed to be talking to the child about
yeah.
how they're doing, while parents are kind of observing and listening to.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's a weird format.
it is. Yeah, it's not. I guess not really in this side of the water. I've been
Okay.
kind of doing these, like, they've been called what, student-led conferences, where I've been previously, which is supposed to be the kid talking about his work. I guess it is a good idea to put, even though some kids are like wilting flowers in this scenario, they're like, oh dear Jesus, my parents, my teachers, and me, and the
Yeah.
focus and the topic of conversation, my attitude towards learning. Just, and for some, they're like, yes. And for others, they're like, oh, poor kids, they're fucking cowering. They're like, like, not for me. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting, but the whole meeting of people, like, you come out of the other end of the day, the end of the day, going like, I can't remember what I said to anyone. Like, it's just because it's just like talk, 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 talk. 2 minute break. Let the because it is like 15, and it's like one comes out, one comes in, one comes out, one
Wow.
comes in, and it was I think we had a 30 minute break the entire day from 9:30 until 4. So that's why I kind of compare it to speed dating.
Mm.
That was my
Would
main thing this week.
I just have one follow up question. Would you if it meant doing a more accurate impression of Mr. T, would you do blackface?
I'm not going to. No, is the answer to that
No.
question.
Okay. All right.
But
That's a good answer, I think.
I had a thought today. It's funny you say that. It's funny that you mentioned blackface today, because I don't know what I was watching today or yesterday, but it popped into my head, and maybe this is the same problem. Um, if you have a mask, let's say I want to go as whatever, a person of color, and you have a mask, you don't paint yourself, but it's a mask. Like, all masks
Mm.
are either, the Wicked Witch of the West, or is that's off the table
Don't know.
in the world, because I don't know where. Oh, it was Jimmy Carr I was watching. That's how I got to that. It was I was watching a clip of Jimmy Carr just doing his usual thing of insulting people,
Yeah.
which is nice until after a while it just gets boring though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he has a shelf life. But he actually says that himself. He says comedians. It's quite interesting what he talks about. He's like, because in this one he's kind of being quite philosophical. When it's his stand. This piece is people just shouting questions at him and him answering them, and he does answer quite a lot of them in a very honest and genuine way. But you don't know which way he's going to go with the question, and that's where anyway. I don't know. I can't remember the scenario where this popped into my head. But what's your take on that? Would you wear a let's say, would you wear a Mr. T mask?
Yes, yeah. I think that's fine. I think that's fine because it would be far better costume than me painting my face black. Just on a visuals alone, quality of product, let's say, alone, I think it would be much better than me painting my face and going, "Hey, I'm Mr. T."
Do you know?
I think that would just be.
I've told you about the guy from Berserkane. I won't mention his name, but like, you know, he'd be my parents' age. Have I told you this before? Or maybe I have.
I'm not sure.
But anyways, there used to be a bar in Berserkane called Foley's. It's where Larkin's is now, where the Larkins have the I'm just going to mention these names because they're shops, so I guess it's no harm.
Yeah.
Larkin's kind of deli, and beside that, there used to be a pub there called Foley's. Right beside that, I have a memory of being in there, and I can see the bar. And it was a gentleman that actually an old friend of ours who we worked on the Marquise with used to drink there as well. And my mom was telling me before about some Halloween or some parade like St. Patrick's Day. Someone had decided to dress up using blackface for whatever character we're doing, and this was like 1970s, 80s Ireland. So like nobody was even considering this because, like, well, there wasn't that many black people in Ireland even at that point. So Mam said she can remember putting shoe polish on one of the guys. He's still in Berskane today. A really funny guy, a really nice guy. And at the time, I strongly believe he didn't know what it was going to. What everyone anyway. But anyway, she put the shoe polish on him, and whatever, he did the thing. But next thing, the shoe polish obviously started reacting to his skin, and he tried to wash it off, and he covered in a red rash.
Oh my God.
Because the shoe polish is made to polish shoes and not to be put on people's faces. So I guess, you know, that's discrimination zero, whatever, something. Whoever's winning 1-0 for the good guys there.
I love so much about that story, Andy. I mean, I love the fact that there's two adults helping each other dress up for a costume party at a pub
in 1980s Ireland, 70s, 80s Ireland.
Yeah, the choice of shoe polish, a brave choice. I mean, no matter what era we're talking about, that is a brave choice.
I feel like he outsourced the selecting of the boot polish to my mother. Given that we had a small little shop that sold all kinds of shit, and may I say, with all due respect, Mary, maybe not the most expensive of shoe polish.
Well,
but damn,
it's look, both your I mean, very, very good result in the shoes, let's say. No complaints there.
Bringing them up real nice. They come out real nice. Real nice. But
yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. God, it was a different time.
Different time. They did, yeah. They were getting dressed up for parades. A slow bike race, which I'm still can't wait to revive.
Yeah. So it's just the slowest person wins.
The concept is fantastic.
That's really fantastic.
But you can't do it here in Berlin because like there's too many people that can actually just fucking on a unicycle, just people won't move. It'll be like who dies first, who's denied. We have to start denying them water and food, and see it becomes a survival thing as opposed to like, all right, they can balance on a bike for ever. Yeah. So we got to start upping the ante.
Yeah, I suppose it's got to be one of those bikes that you could freewheel on, and that you can't backpedal, let's say, and that it's just a normal bike. I think that makes it harder, right?
But a normal bike, but these people that ride bikes like trick bikes.
Who are these people, Andy? Who are they? I want names. Who are these faceless people?
Go to Tempelhofer Feld, man. You've seen it. Like, you've seen them. You've seen these crazy. There's people on Temper Hoverfeld, and I've tried. I am trying to learn how to longboard. It's a very long process.
Okay.
I've had a longboard since I was 40 years old, since I turned 40, and which is only 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Am I 42 or 43? I can't remember.
You're 43.
42. Fuck, I'm 43. 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Still can't longboard, but people are doing yoga longboarding, like fully, like the way I try to awkwardly longboard, using all my concentration just to stay on the board and maybe look up now and again and not look down. There are people just zooming along beside me, doing yoga poses and just holding the pose. And just because they've built up enough speed, they're switching poses and switching feet while standing on the longboard.
It's impressive.
So it's extremely impressive. And so I feel like a slow bike race, they're just going to, we got to turn it into Tagichi's castle kind of scenario, where we're like spraying them like we have water guns and they have to try and stay up.
Brilliant.
But
do you know? I heard another great one. This and like what you're suggesting there, I picture that in a really like village festival setting. Rural village village festival setting. And another one I heard at work from a lad from West Clare. He said they had one where it was a race. It was a wheelbarrow race, and they said the one lad had to. So there was two people, one person in a wheelbarrow and the other person pushing the wheelbarrow, and the race started. So this is the race starts. They go, okay, everybody, go! And the guy pushing the wheelbarrow, first thing he does, he drinks a pint of Guinness as fast as he could drink the pint of Guinness, and then once he's finished the pint of Guinness, he can put down the glass, and then he can run with the wheelbarrow. And if you go up, and there's a barrel that you go around, but when you get up to the barrel, you stop at the barrel, and the guy in the wheelbarrow drinks a pint of Guinness there. And he has to finish it before he can continue on back down, and that's the race. Isn't that a brilliant?
Nice. Yeah, you need to. Yeah. Too many of these kind of. There's too many people, athletic people these days. So you need to not, you need to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I think that. And there was a show called. Wasn't there a show called Bullseye or something?
That was the 3-2-1 guy.
It was Bullseye, and there'd be a team of guys. One guy would answer questions, and the other guy would play darts.
Yeah, 3-2-1. You got
3-2-1.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
Possibly is. I didn't see enough of the show, but I just knew it as a concept.
Anyway, go on.
But sorry, no, my point is, you're right. There's people who are quite skilled, athletically skilled, and you just need to bring them down a bit. You need to
absolutely.
Like, even the playing field with nothing evens the playing field like an old pint of Guinness. So,
May I commandeer the last 18 minutes or 17 minutes of this? Okay.
Yes.
This week's song scenario is I'm at work and it's Monday. But Monday is my busiest day with teaching. I've got one 45-minute break in the entire day, staff meeting as well. But I'm also down as like emergency cover should they need it on this day. Sadly, I've been roped in twice, and this was one of these days where I didn't bother checking because I'm like, my day is too long, and they're not going to do it to me, but they did. Okay. So one of the kids arrived down, my own class, and said, "You're supposed to be covering us in music, Mr. Comfort." And I was like, "What?" And then my boss came in and said, "Yeah," in an all jovial way. I don't know. I assumed it to be jovial because
what are you doing here?
So I had a music class to cover. So I was like, oh Jesus, what I'm doing. And I had planned on, I hadn't planned on doing this. But anyways, I was like, right, I'm going to teach you a song. So I broke out into, let's just go for it. Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, skin and bone, a mind that's weak, but a heart that's strong. It loads 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can go. I owe my soul to the company store. And I realized I said Che Peter there, not St. Peter.
That's perfect.
So it was 16 tons I decided to do with them. All right. So I'm getting a lot of. I hope this all goes well. I'm getting a lot of screen things that are telling me like storage is fucking at critical levels and shit like that. So I hope this all works out. But I think I've said it to you before that I when I'm teaching kids, I like to teach them English through these songs as well. And try so then we have to kind of have a deep dive now. We have to kind of go, okay, all right, what's this song actually about? So like the first verse. Like, and I hadn't done much preparation. First verse, like, some people say a man is made out of mud.
Yeah.
So this is real time, Ed. Like, I've got an audience of 25 people. 25 people.
Yeah.
How are you explaining some people say a man is made out of mud?
Well, that was the ancient Greeks, wasn't it? Prometheus. Prometheus was supposed to have made the humans out of mud, wasn't he?
Really?
For
Is that where it comes?
Zeus asked him. I don't know if that's what the song is about, but I just know that that's one creation, not theory, creation myth. The ancient Greeks would have believed
Really?
that Zeus
the way
asked Prometheus to make him, and he made humans out of mud.
Oh, in the book of Genesis, Adam, the first human, is described as being formed from the dust of the ground, which is often interpreted as mud, is what I found.
There you go.
So I guess
somebody's plagiarizing someone else.
No,
I'm not going to say who.
I'm not going to say.
I'm not going to say who.
Now I just described it as mud is malleable and man is malleable at the time because I didn't have the benefit of technology to help me out at that moment, or indeed you.
God, you left yourself open for a lot more questions there, though, didn't you?
Oh God. Because there are things that I didn't understand in a lot of this song. So some people say a man is made out of mud, a poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Okay, we can kind of explain that one. Muscle and blood, skin and bone, which some of the kids were squirming at, because for them to hear muscle and blood, skin and bone, I think it causes a reaction in some people when you actually really and you have to remember these are bilingual kids. They're like 9 or 10, so these words are effective to them. Like, you know, they're not like they're listening to them and they're trying to understand them. And when they hear muscle, blood, skin, bone, it's probably a bit like a horror movie now that I think of it. Actually, all right, okay. Oh well, I'll deal with that next week.
Frankenstein's monster.
A mind that's weak, and I had to explain a mind that's weak and a heart and a back that's strong, which was fun to say. A mind that's weak, so I picked up pretty well on the mind that's weak, but a heart that's strong, a back that's strong. So so we jumped into 16 tons.
Nice.
They
lyrics.
love it, by the way. They love it, and kids love it. Like, you know, especially when we get to the last verse, which we'll get to hopefully in the next 12 minutes. So you load 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. That's one for them to understand as well. The whole idea of debt, because they heard debt and they were like, oh, it's about debt. It's about dying, basically. But they hadn't really kind of thought of the concept. I'd have the idea of like people owing money and things like that, which seemed to be a big thing.
You're giving these kids some hard facts.
Was
it a Monday? You're starting the week off. All right, sit down, everyone. Whip out the cigarette. Right. We'll talk about some shit. Things ought to get real here. Who's got money? No, you don't. The man has your money.
And I actually sold this song as being, but I should actually take a jump back, but I'm jumping forward because, like, even though we've allowed more time than we've ever allowed for this section of the podcast, I still feel like I don't have enough time to share everything. Okay. But I originally said that I told all the kids this was written by Tennessee Ford Williams in 1956 because that's what I had looked up. But in fact, I have been selling this song to the wrong, I've been giving credit to the wrong person because it was a person called Merle Travis. Who was a coal miner. The song is written by Merle Travis about a coal miner based on the life in the mines in Rosewood, Kentucky. So yeah, but in 1956, what's his name? Tennessee Ford Williams probably recorded, I guess, as a B-side on a cover of an album. He had the Moon Mullican, it was called. he done a cover with it, and then for me that became the kind of definitive version of it as well. But it's been done a million times, like by a lot. By Ewan McCall has done it. I don't know who else you would know. Johnny Cash did a version of it. It's been done by everyone, by lots of people. But anyways, so in light of that, so I went through the whole song, and there was a couple of things that I have to. So I guess I can go through a like. Let me get the lyrics up here so I can make sure. I'm not going to sing the chorus. I'm just going to sing the verses. So because the chorus or the chorus does the same. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. Don't laugh at me, you motherfucker.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to bring
you're going for this. You're going for the singing on the podcast. It's the first time ever. I know you wanted to do it for a long time.
I think I've done it all. I did it for the last song, I think, as well. Anyway, I was born one. I'm going to go low now as well because I like to. In my teaching theory is if kids, and I sing the song first for them. And my theory is if you sing in front of a bunch of kids who are kind of concerned about looking cool or uncool in front of each other, I can whip the whole thing at the bottom out of that idea by actually just completely and utterly going for it myself. Everything, I become a joke, and that kind of releases their minds into going like, we'll sing along. And it's worked every time now.
Wow.
That,
nice
I've done
theory.
that. So I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. Picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 tons of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 tons. I was born one morning, it was drizzling rain. Fighting and trouble on my middle name. I was raised in the canebrake by an old mama line, and no high-toned woman make me walk the line. You load 16 tons, and so on and so forth. So there's the next two verses. Little kind of jump. I'm going to jump forwards and backwards a little bit with this whole thing because got called in for subbing on Friday again. So my two science classes, I teach science on a Friday to an older group of students, and they were away on a trip, and I was kind of looking forward to having some time to do some correcting. However, I was drafted in for more subbing, and my freed hours were taken away from me. And once again, I was called in for music teaching, but to a class I don't teach at all. I don't know them at all. So they were getting the prepared version of me. Because not only had I had given this song to my own class that morning, I had also printed off the full set of lyrics, and on the back of it, I had a summary of what Kentucky was like in 1956 when this song was written at that time in my mind, and also what Berlin was like in 1956 to try and kind of transfer them into the world that they're singing about. So, what do you think Kentucky was like in 1956?
I want to say rural, but I don't know. Is the honest answer.
What was their major pastimes for people?
Kentucky. Shooting things. I don't know.
Shooting things. Well, the first thing the kids said was chicken, which is true. Southern Fried Chicken, KFC.
Oh, yeah.
The horse racing, the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, smart kids.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't get that one. They didn't have that one.
Oh, okay.
They got excited about the horses. And then mining. I guess it's kind of farming land as well. But so, and obviously a lot of mines there as well. And of course, I had to kind of address the whole segregation thing as well, and racism was pretty high up in the world of Kentucky at that point, but that was fine as well. But then I switched to the German side of things in 1956 in Germany, and I'm still not so sure when kids are supposed to talk about World War II in Germany,
right?
Because they all talk about it and don't talk about it, but when it's supposed to be formally spoken about. But of course, if a kid asks a question, I'm not going to go, we can't talk about that.
Yeah,
we shall never talk. Even though that's the running joke, I guess, in a lot of things is like never speak about the time. But so we talked about Berlin, talked about East and West, talked about the Berlinale was I think it was the debut year of the Berlinale, or it was fairly close to it as well. So culture was starting to come into the West. The East, the wall wasn't up at that point. I think it went up in 63, did it?
Yeah, 63. Yeah. I think 62, 63. I remember which. 62 maybe.
So yeah, so there was a lot of people. There was a lot. Kind of the summary that I had was just talking about how it was quite different, and how there was a lot of hope and opportunity, but a lot of oppression still. And it also talked about, and for some reason, the summary that I found um, referenced, and there was a lot of activity up Stalin Alley, and I was like, I don't know that street, but like you're in the moment and you
Yeah.
can't really do anything about it. But it turns out Stalin
It's
Alley was
Frankfurter Alley, is it?
yeah,
Frankfurter Alley?
very close. Karl Marx Alley.
Karl Marx Alley. Okay.
Karl Marx Alley was changed. I don't know when the name was officially changed, but it used to be called Stalin Alley, and yeah.
Which is
So,
fun to say.
which is fun to say, but more difficult to explain to kids why it was called that in the first place. Especially like since you know, they're they haven't got much reference points for anything, and it's like the more I
And
try to explain, the more I have to explain. If you know what I mean, like I'm like that head. I'm like that. You cut off Hadrian's head. Is it Hadrian? Hadrian? And then two heads appear, and then you cut off those two heads, and four heads appear. So that's kind of what it
and,
starts to become.
and this is music class.
They're just trying to get to the end of the day. We're not going to get to the end of all my research, man. I should have cut off the earlier, but anyway, I'll stay going.
Dude,
I'll try and
this
drive
is really
much
good.
into. So yeah, so I started teaching to the grade fours, and so they were grade fives, so they were a bit older, and all about the history of that, and started going through the songs and going through those two verses that we just talked about. Give me a shout when there's 58 minutes, will you?
Okay. Did they like it? Did the older
They
kids
loved it.
like
Every kid loved it.
Okay.
They love it. They love it so much. Like they really love it because they start clicking their fingers and doing that. A couple of things that I'll throw into you. So since we're breaking down lyrics, born one morning when the sun didn't shine, picked up the shovel, loaded 16 tons of number 9 coal, and the straw boss. Do you know what the straw boss is?
I think a straw boss is it's not like an official man. Like, okay, the only reason I know it's like in terms of labor hierarchy, it's somebody who runs the shift. I think like a laborer, but he runs the shift.
Yeah, exactly. He has no authority, but he
Yeah.
he watches for the main boss kind of guy, I guess, because he's a bit
Yeah.
of a scarecrow. He's a bit of a kind of a. That's I didn't know that, and I didn't even explain it to the kids because I had no idea, and I didn't know what I was talking about. But since researching for this, I've been talking about it. So yeah, straw boss was one of our things, and also I had to explain to them the concept of Saint Peter to a lot of, like, the majority of the kids are not Catholic, so
Really?
yeah, so I was like trying to explain, say, Peter, don't you call me because I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Reading about that, that's quite interesting to read about that as well, because this song was primarily a lot about truckers and how truckers were, there was some relation between truckers and the writers of this song, and how truckers were never paid wages, but were paid in, like, to the places they delivered, they'd get discounts, or they'd get paid, basically a bartering system, and they could never pay off their debts, and they would be almost indebted to these to these companies that they were driving for. Like, they would be basically slaves to a lot of these haulage companies. I know we're at 58 now, man. So what'll I fly to the end of it? They love the last verse. If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel, because if the right one doesn't get you, the left one will. Because that's very exciting for them.
I do like when you sing that in the pub as well, because you do have a good delivery on those two lines. You know.
Listen, I'm not going to get enough time to do everything that I want to do. So there's just one last thing I want to do, and that's I want to sing you a little song. It's about 16 tons of coal. The type of coal is number 9. So let's do this. You load 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. You load 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Company store. Company store. Company store. Company store. St. Peter, don't you call me, cause I can't go. Owe my soul to the company store. Company store. Company store. Company store.
That was shit.
I fucked up the first verse. I practiced that for ages. We need to leave 30 minutes for song appreciation.
Next time. We'll get it next time, Andy. I think,
Anyway, everyone, we hope you had a lovely time with us. See you next week.
We'll see you on the high seas.